Mr. Shaw, if you're a friend of Page's, then you must know that neither she nor her friends are particularly welcome in this house.
Well, under ordinary circumstances, maybe, but this is not a social call, Mrs. Wheeler. I think you'll be interested in talking to me once you see the information that I have.
Aren't you the man I saw talking to Page at the top of the World Club at lunchtime?
Could be. I was there.
All right, Mr. Shaw, get to the point of your visit.
I'd be glad to, if you would care to invite me in.
Very well, come in then.
Mrs. Wheeler, if that's the cleaners, I told him to go around to the back.
It's not the cleaner, Vivian. I'm taking care of it.
Are you sure?
I'm sure that will be all.
What a lovely room, Mrs. Wheeler. You have an elegant house.
Thank you. You didn't come here to discuss the decor, did you?
Well, actually, it's not the first time I've been here. I was at your daughter-in-law's wedding reception.
I don't remember meeting you. Now, if you'll get to whatever business you mentioned.
I'd be glad to, but first I should fill you in a little on myself. You see, I'm a film producer from Hollywood, and Paige and I are working on a film project together.
Mr. Shaw, I'm not interested in Page's fantasies about a film career.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You see, I was hoping that you might be interested in investing in this next film I'm going to make.
What in the world would make you think that? No, don't bother to answer. Let me dispel any illusion you may have in that respect. I wouldn't put up the money if Paige...
Mrs. Wheeler, you didn't let me finish. You see, Paige is going to be the star of this next film.
And you didn't let me finish. I wouldn't put up the money for anything Paige was starred in if she were the next Greta Garbo and you were Cecil B. DeMille. Is that clear?
I think you might change your mind if you could see an example of Paige's past work in film.
That wouldn't affect my feelings at all.
Well, I just happen to have some publicity stills here, Mrs. Wheeler. Why don't you take a look at them? Well, you'll be impressed. I promise. Go on, open it.
Why would you show me this filth?
Because they're for sale, Mrs. Wheeler.
Where did you get these disgusting photographs?
As I told you, there are publicity stills from the last film Paige did for me.
I should have expected as much from Page's film career. Is this the sort of film you expect me to invest in? Because if it is, I'll show you the door right now.
Mrs. Wheeler, I certainly wouldn't expect you to invest in such a film. No, I'm making an offer of a much more respectable nature.
From the look of the pictures you showed me, I doubt that you know what the word respectable means.
Then you're not interested in making this investment?
I most certainly am not.
That's too bad. I guess I'll just have to show this example of my work to someone else.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're not amenable to this offer, I'll just have to look for funding elsewhere.
Are you intending to show those pictures around town indiscriminately?
Only if I have to, Mrs. Wheeler.
This is blackmail.
You can call it what you like. I think of it merely as a business proposition.
I should call the authorities and have you arrested.
But you won't, will you?
How much do you expect me to give you?
Oh, I was thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million.
$1 million?
No, it's not very much. It's just for pre-production costs, of course.
Surely you don't think I can lay my hands on that sort of money?
On the contrary, Mrs. Wheeler, I think you could lay your hands on a lot more if you needed to. Come now, Mrs. Wheeler, let's not play games. Besides, don't think of it as you're giving your money away. Think of it as an investment.
What kind of investment?
An investment in your son Dennis's future. Or even better, an investment in keeping the Wheeler name clean.
Hello?
Jim? It's Pete.
Yeah, Pete. What's up?
You spoken with Shaw yet?
Oh, yeah. Haven't had time.
Does it look like you think he's gonna go for it?
Well, I can't be sure. He will if he knows what's good for him. Shaw's pretty stubborn in that respect. You sound anxious. Something wrong?
Something's coming up.
Well, not more trouble with World Oil, I hope. Thought we had that pretty much under control.
No, that's taken care of. As long as Alex Wheeler and that reporter guy seem satisfied.
Well, last I heard, Justin Marshall dropped his investigation. So what's the problem?
We've got a drug deal going down in Morocco.
Yeah, we have a tanker scheduled to dock at Casablanca tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, the Northern Star. Made it to port ahead of day of schedule.
Well, then what's the problem?
Well, that deal fell through the last time. Remember, we thought it was all set. At the last minute, the guys pulled out. We don't want that to happen again.
You think there's a chance they might pull out this time?
I don't know, but I just got through talking to them on the phone, and he sounds pretty shaky.
This deal's very important.
I know. That's why I'm thinking of flying to Morocco to take care of it.
Yeah, the drop's in Marrakesh, right?
That's right.
Maybe I should go there myself. Take care of it once and for all. Now, if we're going to keep using this connection, we're going to have to make sure it's a bit more dependable.
Sounds good to me. But what about Shaw?
Well, I'll go see him right away. See if I can get that settled. And Pete, if Shaw agrees, I may need you in Houston for a while. Keep him in line.
I'm waiting for an answer, Mrs. Wheeler.
You must understand, Mr. Shaw, that $1 million is not easy for me to come up with. Not on the spur of the moment.
You might try selling a few of the jewels I see you wearing in the society pages. Or if you can't bear to part with your jewels, you might try selling a few of the little trinkets around your house here.
My husband is very observant. He would notice if anything were missing. He'd demand an explanation.
Well, I don't care how you come up with the money, Mrs. Wheeler, as long as you come up with it.
I'll need some time to think about it.
Fine. Only I'd advise you against waiting too long. I'm sure that other investors wouldn't be very hard to find.
What do you mean by other investors?
Well, any film starring Alex Wheeler's daughter-in-law is a very hot property.
I will give you my answer as soon as possible.
Fine. I think I'd better hold on to those. If you don't mind, just for safekeeping, Mrs. Wheeler. I'm sure you understand.
If those are publicity stills, as you say, where is the film?
In a safe place.
How do I know there really is a film?
Well, you've seen the publicity stills, haven't you? And if that won't suffice, I guess you'll just have to trust me.
You must realize you are not one who instills trust in people.
Well, if you have any doubts, you could always ask Paige. I'm sure she'd corroborate everything that I've told you.
I will be in touch with you.
Fine. Only don't wait too long, Mrs. Wheeler. I could go to other investors.
I understood you the first time.
Fine. If you'll give me your phone number, I'll be in touch with you and see if you've reached a decision.
You don't really expect me to give you my phone number, do you?
Would you prefer that I visit you again?
Certainly not. I'll have to call you.
Fine. Only, don't make it too long, Mrs. Wheeler. Nice talking to you.